We had another reader who asked us this week if voter drop boxes are monitored.
Yeah, I'm happy to take that question. So in 2020, there was a bipartisan law that was passed requiring municipalities to have video monitoring of their drop boxes within 75 days of an election. That said, because it takes a long time to implement that, and there's a lot of local communities involved, um, the with old drop boxes, municipalities have until 2026 to add in the video monitoring. If there are any new drop boxes, those are automatically required to have video monitoring. So that's part of the install process. But for some of these old ones around the state, there may not be Dropbox video monitoring just quite yet. They will all be in place by the 2026 election. Some cities used COVID-19 money that was designated to election operations to buy video surveillance equipment in 2020. And there are other safeguards in place to ensure that ballot drop boxes are securely locked, affixed to the ground, or another stationary object. And city officials do have to regularly monitor any drop boxes that don't have that video monitoring in place within that 75 days prior to the election to make sure it complies with state law. Clerks are also required to document when ballot applications and ballot returns are picked up from these drop boxes. So clerks are required to collect and keep that information for at least 22 months after the election.
What type of training do poll workers receive when it comes to making sure to verify someone's identity when they come to vote?
Yeah, there's a pretty robust training that poll workers are required to receive, and there are a lot of rules, guides around that process. There are several different roles. You can either be the poll worker, helping the local election officials with the election process, or you can also volunteer as a poll challenger for either Republicans or Democrats to monitor the process. So there's a lot of uh, stuff happening in the background, for lack of a better word, to make sure this process goes smoothly. It involves many hands in many municipalities across Michigan's 83 counties. So it's a very localized process here in Michigan. That means that, while the Secretary of State does have rules that come from the top, at the local level, clerks and election officials and poll workers are constantly, getting training and trying to stay up to date on these big changes that have come in the last several election cycles.